Welcome to the award-winning Texas Toast Podcast, your podcast home for all things Texas country. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best in Texas country. Hello, everyone. Big cheers, everyone. I'm Miss Helen with Texas Toast Podcast and Radio, and I'm here with Dylan Matthews. First of all, we're here at Taste and Tunes at the Matagorda County Fairgrounds. We've been talking a lot about it this week, and Dylan's getting ready to take the stage. And we have Uncle Lucius coming up later tonight. We got Chef Sally over there, a lot of stuff going on. Dylan, we first met back in June after I got acquainted with Dylan through my aunt because we share some roots with Sealy in Austin County. And so welcome to the podcast.
Yes, ma'am. It was great to be here. It's I love Matagorda County. I love just being a part of all this. It's kind of close to where I was born and raised, and it's close to home and great people around here. So I appreciate you and the people that put this on. It's amazing, honestly.
Yes, well, Dylan, I know that you've got one song out to streaming. I know that you're working on some more. So just give us a little glimpse into how you got into music.
Yes, ma'am. I remember the first day I was probably 10 years old, and I told my mom, I said, I want to go buy a guitar. And I saved up $100 cash, which was a lot to me at the time, and I was like, I'm going to buy a guitar. So I bought the cheapest guitar they had. I think it was $75, and went home, and from that day, I never stopped playing it. And I mean, music had been in my family. My grandparents played, and it was just kind of in my blood, and within a year or two, I started playing live music, and it's just what I love since then. So.
I know, and I know last time I visited with you, you were fixing to go to fire school, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so I was going to fire school, and I got a good bit into it, and I realized that music was what I truly wanted to do, and I had a great opportunity pop up to do this full-time now, and that is what I'm doing. So I've been going back and forth to Nashville, recording music, and just getting a good foundation laid out for the later road, you know.
I am so glad to hear that. That is awesome. So let's look at some of your musical influences as you were learning music and training your ear and your voice was coming along and developing. Who was in your ear that you were listening to?
100%. I probably have two of my biggest influences are Ricky Skaggs and Keith Whitley are my two big guys. Keith Whitley was my mom's side. She loved that, and then the Ricky definitely came from my dad's side, a little bit more of that bluegrass sound, you know. So, but no, I've had a lot of great influences in my life, and even my grandparents, you know, they weren't around a lot in my life, but I have that blood in me that's just, you know, the bluegrass, and that's what I love. So. Yes, ma'am. So
yes. I had that conversation with your mom. She was telling me, kind of enlightened me on that. So as far as songwriting, when did that come along for you?
The songwriting came along, I'm going to be honest, since the day I started playing guitar, I was like, I want to write music. And I honestly had no plans on singing. I was not a good singer whenever I first started. And I was like, okay, I'll just write songs and write music. And later on, I started playing at my church in my hometown. And they were like, hey, man, you can sing pretty good. And from that day on, I just started writing and singing and putting those two things together. So it's been great. It has.
And of course, hometown, Austin County is your home county. Let me tell you, y'all are busting with music there. David Lewis is there, Jacob Boyd's in Austin County, John Stork makes his home there, John Swatner's there, Carson Jeffrey. I am so proud of all this music that is coming out of Austin County. It's awesome.
Most definitely. No, Austin County is great for it, and all those guys that you just listed right there are great people. I know Carson and his family pretty well, and just that David Lewis, that's another great guy. I remember my neighbor, he would always be at their house, and we had dinner with him a few times, and great people, honestly is. And you get that from small towns, you know? It's great. It kind of focuses down on the people a little bit more. So
yeah, it's the best place to be from. I mean, I don't live there anymore, but I spent all my time there, of course, growing up, and still have family there. So it's nice to see my home county representing with the music. It's just, I keep waiting in line, like, who's going to be next? Who's coming up next? So what is some of your bucket list venues to play?
I would most definitely say Red Rocks and probably Whitewater. Those are my two biggest that I want to play at the moment. Red Rocks is definitely number one on the list, though. I saw Zach Top just played there, and that's another big influence for me from the newer guys. And I saw that, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that one day. You know, it's a dream for sure.
Well, you can become a reality because you've got some talent. Let's talk about. I know that you record it with Stormy Cooper and really enjoy working with him.
No, Stormy's great. He was. The first song I ever cut was with Stormy, and he made me feel like I was at home. Going into a studio can be very, very scary, mostly at a young age. You don't know anything about it, but I'll be honest, I walked in there and Stormy was like, we're going to tackle this, and we did. We did it quick, and it was good quality, and that's who I'm recording with for my next single that's coming out pretty soon. You know, I can't drop dates yet, but we do have a single coming out pretty soon. We go in next week to record, and I'm just as excited. I'm not scared to go in anymore. So Stormy's great. He is.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new music, and for those of you that maybe aren't familiar, I know you've got the one out to streaming, but you're very traditional sounding.
Yes, no, most definitely. And I think that does come from my biggest influence, that Keith Whitley, that steel guitar crying in the background. That's what I love and always have, and I love my fast-paced honky-tonk music too, and that's what we got coming up next. And I'm excited for it all, but definitely got to keep that traditional sound,
Yes.
That's country music to me.
Okay, well, everybody, this is Dylan Matthews, your introduction here on the Texas Toast Podcast, and I know that we have some great things coming up with Dylan, so make sure you're following along. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Dylan Matthews Music, or TikTok, Facebook, any of those places. It's all Dylan Matthews Music all together. And just on Spotify, Apple Music, any of your streaming platforms, just Dylan Matthews. And yeah, so it works out great. I appreciate you very much.
Oh, well, I'm excited to see what's to come for Dylan Matthews, and so cheers. Thanks for being on the Texas Toast Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Texas Toast Podcast. And now, big news. If you're a lover of Texas country red dirt music, you can now go listen to our station, Texas Toast Radio. Log on to TexasToastRadio.com to hear a mix of all your Texas country favorites.